Namaste, Vanakkam. Hello to all the brothers and sisters who are a part of this incredibly beautiful experiment that Mother, the spiritual collaborator of Sri Aurobindo, has created with so much of attention to details, and how she has conceived of and given us a plan of a place which will be open for men and women of goodwill from all over the world to come and live here in harmony and build the city to make sure that we're really able to do the synthesis of spirit and matter. I think in this 150th year of the birth of Sri Aurobindo, which we are celebrating as his birth anniversary on a national, international level with a lot of programs, it is a very, very important point in time where we can palpably feel not only the force, the pressure, the presence, the gentle nudge, the cajoling, the hand-holding of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, which is guiding us through a very, very decisive point in time. In this divine mission, I feel that the current governing board, the International Advisory Council, and of course the residents and the foundation, collectively all of us, are at this point engaged in something which can be very beautiful to really see the city manifest. I've also done a study of all the governing board minutes right from the formation of the Auroville Foundation and the implementation of the Auroville Foundation Act in 1988. And as one goes through them and a deep understanding of what has been the recurrent chorus, the refrain in all of these meetings, one sees that at this point, with all humility, the current governing board, the Auroville Foundation, is absolutely based on all these minutes, based on all these reports, whether it's of the CAG, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, various other oversight committee reports, various feedback suggestions that have come from a host of people connected with Auroville. They may not be residing here, but who are very, very passionately, sincerely committed to Auroville, their aspirations for what they want to see happen here, and a place for human unity, a beautiful place, a beautiful city which encompasses all that Mother wanted to happen. And also exercises like the retreat, which were taken up by people over here with full participation of the community, and very recently the Dream Weavers effort as well. When I see all of this, I realize that there's a very distinct and a great refrain which keeps coming off and on of really there's this collective aspiration of wanting to collaborate and wanting to, with great faith in what Mother has given us, really move forward to see the city manifest. And the city, again I repeat, is not just about the brick and mortar, but also about the prosperity, the economy. How is it that we can bring in better governance? How can we bring things with a greater deal of accountability, transparency, simplicity, which is what many of us have been struggling for? How is it that simple complaints get resolved to the extent possible without any kind of discord? And how are all these possible? And here, as these efforts are on, there is another sort of consistent refrain that we have been seeing right from the beginning, that there is a certain segment of the residents, a few residents, a few people from Auroville have consistently over the years also tried to see that there are some obstacles brought to the implementation, to the manifestation of what has been given to us as the dream, a vision of a city which has no parallel anywhere in the world. And we're all very privileged to have this blessing and be a part of this very unique, bold, beautiful, and a very exquisite experiment which has been specially planned for and very beautifully curated here for all of us to participate. In this context, I also want to say that in recent times there have been a lot of fear, messages of fear that do come to me, and I want to place it on record and tell all of you that there is absolutely no reason to have any of these fears or apprehensions, concerns, because these are ill-founded. Those of us who have come here and have joined Auroville to fulfill the charter of Mother and want to live here based on her vision, her dream, and what was the mission that she has set for all of us have absolutely no reason to have even an iota of fear. On the visa front too, I'd like to clarify with all humility that so far, ever since I've taken charge, we have issued letters of recommendation for about 602 residents from Auroville for their visa, out of which 560, which is a whopping 94-95%, have been given visa recommendation letters for the exact period that they requested for. And there are 37 of them who've been given a visa recommendation for about a year. And there are 5 of the cases where the visa recommendation letter is for a period of 3 months. And there are 0 cases where the visa recommendation letter says that the visa should be rejected or not be given. And I want to again appeal that those of you who are committed to Auroville, want to work in a collaborative way and contribute to the city in terms of being true servitors of the divine, I think there is absolutely no reason for us to fear or have any apprehension. But if there are activities which are not legal, if there are other activities which are against the spirit, against the constitution of the country or against the charter of Auroville, those are instances where we have no option but to resort to taking this action. Having said this, I also want all of us to realize that this is a very special privilege that Auroville has. In fact, there are other colleagues from other institutions, entities like this which have an international population, and they all do ask me sometimes that how is it that Auroville has this? So this is, I think, a very special gift, a grace of the divine with full blessings also of various instruments, including the state government, the central government, and of course all the stakeholders. And we must be very careful so as to be able to not only enjoy this but also realize the responsibility we have in fulfilling this privilege. And I also want to talk about another topic today. The Act clearly says, the Auroville Foundation Act clearly says that the resident assembly shall consist of all the members who are registered in the Register of Residents as maintained by the Secretary of the Foundation. And in that context, the word maintain too requires that we update this on an annual basis. And the information asked for is something which is very, very basic, which has been conveyed to people in the past and now again. And there are certain fields which are optional. And I would like to again earnestly appeal and request all of you to start entering your details. If you need assistance, our teams are here to handhold, help you. And the information is to be given. This is not just to put in the very foundation basis of a more transparent, clearer, cleaner governance, but also to ensure that your safety, security is also not compromised, that we all can live here with the same freedom that we are entitled to, and freedom, as Kirit Bhai, my special mentor, guide, would say. He would say that discipline is the child of freedom. And sometimes I think just as we have enjoyed all this freedom, it also is expected of us that we respond with a bit of discipline in terms of fulfilling these requirements of the government in terms of filling in our data related to the Register of Residents. And this will only help make sure that the governance systems, all this that we all have been enjoying and want to enjoy even better in Auroville with better transparent systems, is made easier. If we see the current situation, I often feel it's a reaction to the disruption of the status quo that had continued for decades. There was an ossification, and again it's a small clique of people who are trying their best to ensure that the status quo does not change. And I think I also hear a very large number of voices. Some of them may not be very loud, they may not be very noisy, but very sincere requests, aspirations, prayers, who all want to see Auroville really take its place as this magnificent city which can really house and welcome people from all over the world who really have this highest aspiration for the divine and want to be willing servitors of divine consciousness. And it really is expected that all of us collaborate in this effort. And we have to very importantly put in place governance systems where there is accountability, transparency, participation, collaboration, and also prosperity, the economy, and we have to also ensure that there are educational opportunities, economic activities, housing, all of these basic requirements for all the people living here. It has to be fulfilled. I'm absolutely keen, eager to meet members from the community individually or in groups. And I would like to invite all of you, if you would be free, I want to set aside the Tuesdays, every Tuesday, an hour from 3:30 to 4:30 for this purpose of having meetings with you over a cup of tea. You are welcome. My office doors will be open. Any of you, if you have suggestions, concerns, ideas, problems, you're most welcome to come here. I have also made a new email account called Collaborate.secavf@gmail.com, and you're free to send your ideas, suggestions, or any such thoughts that you may have in this collective building of this beautiful city, with more and more people being able to come here, with more and more activities on a sustainable basis. The cycle of resisting this change, this reaction to change, is something that we must absolutely denounce. Spreading of unfounded rumors and various things that tend to instill fear should also be desisted from. I think it calls for a lot of forbearance from all of us to collectively believe in the collective goodness of what we all can achieve, and really take that giant leap forward individually, raising our consciousness, and also collectively to boldly and swiftly move towards what we have to do, what we have been actually asked to do here. I also want to make a very, very ardent appeal to each one of us to remember how we are all very blessed. Why is it that we have been specially selected and brought here? What is it that Auroville has given us? What is it that Mother had dreamt of? And how can we reflect individually, collectively, and contribute our bit, not really in terms of what is in it for me, but rather than what is it that I can give back to seeing this beautiful experiment, which doesn't have any parallel or any other experiment even faintly of this kind, which is so very bold, so very beautiful. Nowhere else on the planet is something like this being envisioned. So if we can all raise our consciousness and with full sensitivity really do our best. I want to again acknowledge the beautiful moments I've spent here over the last 10 months of my work at Auroville as the Secretary of the Foundation. I've witnessed such beautiful experiments, initiatives, programs, efforts that you have all put together. For example, some of them, the Om Choir that Narad has been leading, I've been a part of it, the sound baths, so many units, activities that I've visited, the services, different ones, meditations under the banyan tree, Gita chanting, or if we even look at the forest areas, whether it is Pichandi Kulam or whether it is Krishna's Solitude Farm, there are many such, the Matru Mandir gardens, Savitri Bhavan, the list would go on. There are such beautiful initiatives that people have taken, incredible efforts that collectively we've all done. But now is a time, a point of inflection where we all need to again come together, collaborate, and offer our services at the lotus feet of Mother. And there's a quote of the Mother that is very dear to me, and I felt it really resonates very deeply with what it is that we're all now striving for. A harmonious, collective aspiration can change the course of circumstances. May I again request all the sisters and brothers of Auroville, not just those residing here, but all the sisters and brothers who are yet to come to us at Auroville. We're eagerly waiting for all of you to join us and take this beautiful experiment forward. Thank you. Namaste. Vanakkam.